Hello, my friends. My name is Melissa from Melissa's Struggling Walk with Jesus. I am here using the Navigator's Bible reading plan and the Amplified Holy Bible, sharing the Word of God with you. And today, not only there's a couple of things in this video, we are finishing up month 6. Whoop, whoop. We are also finishing up the book of 2 Kings. And so in this video, I will be sharing 2 Kings chapter 24 and 25. 24 starts out with Babylon controls Jehoiakim. And it says, in his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up. And Jehoiakim became a servant for 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. 2. The Lord sent marauding bands of Chaldeans, Arameans, Syrians, Moabites, and Ammonites against Jehoiakim. And he sent them against Judah to destroy it, in accordance with the word of the Lord, which he spoke through his servants the prophets. 3. Surely this came on Judah at the command of the Lord, to remove them from his sight, because of the sins of King Manasseh, in accordance with everything that he had done. 4. And also for the innocent blood that he shed, for he killed Jerusalem with innocent blood, and the Lord would not pardon it. 5. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim, and everything that he did, are they not written in the books of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? Nose itches, sorry guys. So 2 Kings chapter 24, starting at verse 6. The title is Jehoiachin Reigns. So Jehoiakim slept with his fathers in death, and his son Jehoiachin became king in his place. The king of Egypt did not come out of his land again, because the king of Babylon had taken everything that belonged to the king of Egypt, from the river of Egypt to the river Euphrates. 8. Jehoiachin was 18 years old when he became king, and he reigned only 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Neshushta, the daughter of Elnathan of Jerusalem. 9. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, in accordance with everything that his father had done. 2 Kings 24, starting at verse 10, the title is Deportation to Babylon. Now at that time the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, went up to Jerusalem, and the city came under siege. 11. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to the city, while his servants were besieging it. 12. Jehoiachin, king of Judah, surrendered to the king of Babylon, he and his mother, and his servants, and his captains, and his palace officials. So the king of Babylon took him prisoner in the 8th year of his own reign. 13. He carried out of there Jerusalem all the treasuries of the house, the temple of the Lord, and the treasures of the house, the palace of the king, and cut in pieces all the articles of gold in the temple of the Lord, which Solomon king of Israel had made, just as the Lord had said. 14. He led away into exile all Jerusalem, and all the captains, and all the brave men, 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and the smiths. None remained except the poorest people of the land. 15. Nebuchadnezzar led Jehoiachin away into exile to Babylon. Also he took the king's mother, and the king's wives, and his officials, and the leading men of the land, including Ezekiel, as exiles from Jerusalem to Babylon. Check out Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 1. Verse 16. And the king of Babylon brought as exiles to Babylon all the brave men, 7,000 of them, and the craftsmen and the smiths, 1,000 of them, all strong and fit for war. 2 Kings chapter 24, starting at verse 17. Zedekiah made king. Then the king of Babylon made Mattaniah, Jehoiachin's uncle, king in his place, and changed his name to Zedekiah. 18. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. Check out 2 Kings chapter 23, verse 31. 19. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, in accordance with everything that Jehoiakim had done. Apparently, we just don't learn. Verse 20. And because of the anger of the Lord, these things happened in Jerusalem and Judah. And it finally came to the point that he cast them from his presence. And Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. Okay, so now we are going to move on to 2 Kings chapter 25. The title is Nebuchadnezzar Besieges Jerusalem. Now in the 9th year of Zedekiah's reign, on the 10th day of the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came, he and all his army, against Jerusalem, and camped against it and built siege works surrounding it. 2. The city came under siege for nearly 2 years, until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. 3. On the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine caused by the siege was severe in the city. There was no food for the people of the land. 4. Then the city wall was broken into and conquered. All the men of war fled by night by way of the gate, between the 2 walls by the king's garden. Though the Chaldeans, Babylonians, were all around the city, and they went by way of the Arabah, the plain of the Jordan. 5. The army of the Chaldeans pursued the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho. Then his entire army was dispersed from there. 6. So they seized the king Zedekiah and brought him to the king of Babylon at Riblah on the Orontes River, and sentence was passed on him. 7. They slaughtered the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, then put out the eyes of Zedekiah and bound him hand and foot with bronze fetters and brought him to Babylon. Check out Jeremiah chapter 34 verse 3 and Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 13. All right, 2 Kings chapter 25 starting with verse 8. Jerusalem burned and plundered. Now on the 7th day of the 5th month in the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, captain of the bodyguard, a servant of the king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem. 9. He burned the house, the temple of the Lord, the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem. Every great house he burned down. 10. All the army of the Chaldeans, Babylonians, who were with the captain of the bodyguard, tore down the walls around Jerusalem. 11. Then Nebuzaradan, the captain of the bodyguard, deported into exile the rest of the people who were left in the city, and the deserters who had joined the king of Babylon, and the rest of the multitude. 12. But the captain of the bodyguard left some of the unimportant and poorest people of the land to be vineyard workers and farmers. 13. Now the Chaldeans, Babylonians, smashed the bronze pillars which were in the house of the Lord, and their bases, and the bronze sea, the large basin, which were in the house of the Lord, and carried the bronze to Babylon. They took away the pots, the shovels, the snuffles, the spoons, and all the bronze articles that were used in the temple service. 15. The captain of the bodyguard also took away the fire pans and basins, anything made of fine gold and anything made of fine silver. 16. The 2 pillars, the 1 sea large basin, and the bases which Solomon had made for the house of the Lord, the bronze of all these articles was incalculable. 17. The height of the 1 pillar was 18 cubits, or 27 feet, and a capital of bronze was on top of it. The height of the capital was 3 cubits, or 4.5 feet. A network, lattice work, and pomegranates around the capital were all of bronze. And the 2nd pillar had the same as these, with the network. 18. The captain of the bodyguard took captive Sariah, the chief priest, Zephaniah, the 2nd priest, and the 3 doorkeepers of the temple. 19. And from the city of Jerusalem he took an officer who was in command of the men of war, and 5 men from the king's personal advisers who were found in the city, and the scribe of the captain of the army who mustered the people of the land for military service, and 60 men from the people of the land who were found in the city. 20. Nebuzaradan, the captain of the bodyguard, took them and brought them to the king of Babylon at Riblah. 21. Then the king of Babylon struck them down and killed them at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, north of Damascus. So Judah was taken into exile from its land. 2 Kings chapter 25, starting with verse 22. Gedaliah made governor. Now over the people from Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had left in the land of Judah, he appointed as governor Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan. 23. When all the captains of the forces, they and their men, heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah governor, they came with their men to Gedaliah as Mizpah, namely Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, and Johanan, the son of Korah, and Sariah, the son of Tanhemeth, the Netophathite, and Jezaniah, the son of the Maacathite. Gedaliah swore an oath to them and their men, and said to them, Do not be afraid of the servants, the officials of the Chaldeans. Live in the land and serve the king of Babylon, and it will be well with you. 25. But in the 7th month, Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, the son of Elishama, of the royal family, who had a claim to be governor, came with 10 men and struck and killed Gedaliah and the Jews and the Chaldeans who were with him at Mizpah. 26. Then all the people, both small and great, and the captains of the forces set out and went to Egypt, for they were afraid of the Chaldeans, the Babylonians. 27. Now it came about in the 37th year of the exile of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, on the 27th day of the 12th month, that evil Merodach, king of Babylon, in the year that he became king, showed favor to Jehoiachin, the king of Judah, and released him from prison. 28. And he spoke kindly to him and set his throne above the throne of the other kings of captive peoples, who were with him in Babylon. 29. Jehoiachin changed his prison clothes for palace garments, and he dined regularly in the king's presence for the remainder of his life. 30. And his allowance, a continual one, was given to him by the king, evil Merodach, a portion every day, for the rest of his life. And we are done with our video today out of the book of 2 Kings. And we are done with 2 Kings, my friends.